For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Come on! Wait up!
Is everyone ready to play?
I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in high levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match. I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you'll surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings, Tom Wren for sport, Jade Robran on the scene as it happens, Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide, Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local, and only on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Good evening and welcome to Jack Smith Park, home of the Birkalla, the mighty Birkalla, here for round 4 clash of the RA8 NPLSA against FK Beograd, a third versus fourth, with only 1 point, as you can see there on that live ladder. on your screen there, third versus fourth, which leads to an exciting game. We're going to go through the lineups quickly. We've got number 4, Kane Vidmar. Number 5, Jared Clark. Number 6, Ryan Yates. Number 10, Dylan Klassen Thomas. Number 11, Zakaria Abdullahi. Number 13, Zoe Sakani. Number 14, Nathan Enijanto. Number 18, Yohei Matsumoto. Number 20, Nicholas Harpus. Number 22, Alan Welsh. And number 26, Amir Ibrahim. That's your starting 11 for Birkalla. Your starting 11 for the visitors, who are FK Beograd. Will be on screen just very shortly. And in the meantime, I am your commentator, Mark Talbot, and alongside me is Ben Dale. Ben, how are you?
Good. Yourself, Talbs?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for joining me.
No, not a problem. Big game tonight. 6-pointer already.
Yeah, massive game, and we'll look at the FK Beograd lineup. Here we go. Number 1, Alex Woodlands. Number 2, Massimo Falco. Number 3, Marco Torriani. Number 5, Cooper Nunn. Number 7, Lorenzo Baselli. Number 8, Kristen Konstandopoulos. Number 9, Abu Bakari Hussein. Number 14, Daniel Atkinson. Number 17, Brandon Santafanti. Number 22, Fro Neonkuri. And number 23, Marcus Orchard. And your match officials for today's game. Tom Brinkworth is the man in the middle, ably assisted by Henry Day and Sahidev Shrestha. Ben, what are you expecting to see today?
Well, we're talking pre-match off air, and both results last year 3-1. They both had a positive result at opposite grounds away. So, look, it's going to be a tightly contested affair. We saw George Blackwood admitted, which I'm sure you'll talk more about briefly. But, look, I think a draw tonight. I think it's probably a fair result. I sit on the fence quite a lot when I've been with you before, so and I'm doing that right now. So, just hoping for lots of goals and a highly entertaining game for the viewers tonight.
Yeah, as I said, it is a 3v4 in the table at the moment. It should be a very exciting game with Birkalla coming off a very important win last week at home against Campbelltown with the very late winner from, as you mentioned, the man that is missing tonight, George Blackwood, who is out through illness. And it'll be interesting to see, Ben, how that impacts the way Birkalla played, the form that he's in, not only in front of goal, but his general gameplay. Yeah,
absolutely. And, I feel bad with the comment I just made before about plenty of goals, because when you look at the lineups and the strength in both defences and the goalkeepers, the quality, the experience, you'd imagine neither parties will want to be conceding goals tonight, but that's what football's all about. And, yeah, look, I feel like Birkalla certainly started off quite well. As we mentioned again off air tonight, that stability from last season coming into this year, the squad looks a bit more solid. I feel like this could be a good year for Birkalla. So interesting to see how they perform tonight without Blackwood.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. They've certainly got a settled lineup this season, where last season they're a little bit chop and change and players moving around a lot. This year, Stav's really settled that lineup, and they sort of know their roles, positions each week, and it's certainly proved to be a benefit this year. FK Beograd coming into this game, they're in some good form as well. Like I said, they're sitting in fourth. Plenty of goals for them too. They've scored their 7 goals as well, only conceded 3 so far, so very tight at the back. Plenty of goals. Scored plenty of goals last week, 5 against Para Hills, with Baselli probably one of the key players for FK Beograd at the moment, the playmaker in the middle of the park. They've got Mas Falco back after his suspension as well. He missed, I think he was sent off in round 1, he missed round 2. So he'll be raring to go down that right-hand side. So very enticing game, and it'll be FK Beograd all in white, kicking from left to right to get us underway. And Birkalla in their traditional black and yellow, kicking from right to left. Be interesting if we hopefully don't get confused between Alex Woodlands in pink and our referee Tom Brinkworth in pink.
They did say at the start of the season the officials would be wearing pink, so surprised the keepers are wearing it, but anyway.
Yes, as we get underway with Tom Brinkworth blowing that whistle and FK Beograd with the early possession as Konstandopoulos keeps that ball moving, and it is Jason that is playing as Kristen is out injured and will be out the rest of this season with his injury. But both teams missing players through injury as Birkalla come away with the ball on the right-hand side. Matsumoto to Klassen Thomas, who's playing more central this week. He goes over the top looking in behind, and it's cleared by Cooper Nunn. And Marcus Orchard supports Konstandopoulos there as Nunn goes long, and that's out of play. As I was saying, Ben, there's a few injuries for both sides. Lacornia, I managed to catch up with him before the game. I was talking couldn't work out how long he was going to be out for last week, but he has done his MCL in the last pre-season game of the off-season or the pre-season against Croydon just before round 1, and he's out for another at least three weeks before he starts lifting his rehab. But so it does help when you've got the likes of Jared Clark and Kane Vidmar to deputise for the Cornu.
I was about to say that, able replacements there, and also a great opportunity just to sort of again get a little bit more experience. Cade Vidmar, we know his potential over the years, but hasn't had a lot of game time, so it's a good opportunity for him to sort of just settle in and get some confidence and play his style of football.
And not a bad way to get that game time alongside the international in Jared Clark, as Cooper Nunn goes long looking for Hussein playing up top as the number 9 this week, while Anthony Trimboli still out injured at this stage. He might be on the bench. I will go through the players on the bench.
I love the idea of Matsumoto as a fullback as well, because no doubt he likes to get forward. He's got that attacking part about his game, but he's also very disciplined in that role defensively.
He is. We see it every week. Here's Yates with the hit, and that one goes wide as Woodland's happy to see that one go wide. And you are right. I get to commentate on quite a few of the games here for Birkalla, and he's one of the players that continually impresses, but he's also up and down that side all night. Birkalla on the bench this evening. Number 1, Oliver Fitznering is the reserve goalkeeper. They've got Jeremy Capello, Tyrese Conway, Alex Tsakonis, Chris Christofilos and Sebastian Smith on the bench. And for FK Beograd, number 4, Jordan Lean. Number 13, Alex Rusmir, the reserve goalkeeper. Number 15, Ethan Harrington. Number 16, Yanni Sialafos. Number 19, Zach Kosic. And number 24, Peter Palacis. So no Anthony Trimboli just yet, as he's still getting over his injury. We did have them on the One Game at a Time podcast during the week, and it was great to get a bit of insight to the coaching levels that Adrian has completed, and also the fact that Anthony Trimboli is the player most likely to be late to everything. As here's Centofanti for FK Beograd. Looks to go long, but he goes short to Toriani.
Interesting name you mentioned. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
You go. Jordan Lean on the bench, son of Andy Lean, who's been in the program for a number of years. I think he came out at the end of last year. Very promising young player as well.
Yes.
Big footsteps with his dad and his granddad, for that matter.
He's got some big shoes to fill, as Andy Lean is actually one of the Lean boys, is the actual reserves coach at FK Beograd. So it's
big names in football over the years. And David Lean, the granddad, inducted in the Hall of Fame a couple of years back.
Here's Zakani for Birkalla, blocked by Toriani, and as I say, Toriani, an off-season acquisition from the now relegated Raiders. So he's done the change from the Croatians to the Serbians.
A little bit more acceptable these days.
It certainly is. Not back
maybe not when we were playing.
Not in my day.
Even going from Para Hills to Modbury wasn't great.
Exactly, as Zakani whips that in with the outside of the boot, and Woodlands again happy to see that one go past his upright. It's a beautiful night here at Jack Smith Park.
Definitely a perfect night for football, and just looking around at the quality of the players out there, it's fantastic. Some of the experience they've had over the years, Welshie, Jared Clark, Ryan Yates was in the youth program for a while with Adelaide United. It's a good night for football.
Certainly
should be highly entertained tonight.
That's what we're hoping for, as Konstantopoulos, he switches to Centofanti, who in turn finds Falco on this right-hand side, and he's able to get forward a little bit, looking for Hussein down the line. Off-season acquisition from Para Hills, who did manage to stay up, beating relegation on the last day, and he fouls Anajanto, and he gets the ball moving quickly through Kane Vidmar. He goes wide, actually cut out by Yates. As Matsumoto gives that away to Neon Kuru. Inside there's Atkinson, New Zealand acquisition that FK Beograd managed to draw across the divide. As Anajana goes long, and Cooper Nunn's happy to nod that one all the way back to his keeper in Alexander Woodlands, who Again, FK Beograd, another acquisition for them in the off-season from Modbury Jets. And Modbury Jets in that, I don't know if it was a straight trade, but in that they managed to pick up Jamie Signorelli from FK Beograd. So it's just a bit of a swap for the two keepers there. We tick over 6 minutes into this game. As I was saying earlier about the Blackwood not being able to make it tonight due to illness. 4 goals, top of the goal scoring charts in the league, with a number of players on 3. Here's Atkinson.
I loved what you said about him off air before the game, though, Taubes, in regards to his game, not just the goal scoring part that we've seen from him over the years at the highest level in this country, but to be able to contribute in other ways and complement the players around him and bring other players into the game is a skill that not all players can have, especially as a 9. Sometimes the 9 is quite an isolated role where you're really relying on the delivery, the service from your teammates, and sometimes hard to contribute in other ways. But to see him start off the season like this has been positive. He'd be disappointed not to play tonight, no doubt.
I would say so. Like I said, he's been in great form on in front of goal and just his general gameplay. So Birkalla certainly missed the way he's started this season, as Konstantopoulos will swing this one in with the right boot. Goes far post. That goes over everyone and cleared. It's bobbled around, and Cooper Nunn's unable to get it goal bound, and it goes out for a corner on the opposite side. And Konstantopoulos will head over to the other side, and like me tonight, chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA, and I've got my team member in Pendale. It's nice that RAA sponsor the RAA NPLSA.
Definitely is. We need as many supporters of the game as we can. It's an important part of our makeup here in Adelaide and South Australia.
As Constant swings this one in, near post, cleared by Jared Clark, and it goes through and out for another corner. Jared Clark, formerly of FK Beograd, he's changed allegiances in the off-season.
And I'm sure the viewers are more interested in this game than perhaps the Adelaide United game at the moment, but they have gone 2-1 up. I'm not sure if that's just on half-time against Western Sydney.
It's a good result. They need that. As the corner looks to be coming in from Marcus Orchard. He swings it in. Neon Hussein's there. He can't get a full head on that, and Yates ends up clearing. But in a little bit of trouble at the moment. They're just unable to clear their lines properly. And this is where FK Beograd probably need to make that count. And One World LED and Sportal Systems for all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions. A quick round the grounds. We've got some games on tonight in the State League 1. Raiders are playing Adelaide Atletico, and Raiders are 1-0 up at the moment. And that's 40 minutes played there. And in the other game, Eastern United are 1-1 with Adelaide Cobras after 23 minutes. And you can tune into those, but I'd highly recommend you stay here for this one.
Well, you can always watch both.
You can, certainly.
We've done that before.
And so I've certainly watched more than one game at a time.
I remember being at your house having football on the TV and on the iPad at the same time.
That's the way it's done these days. As centre front, he gets the ball out to Baselli. Baselli's able to open his legs and get down that line. He crosses in looking for Hussein, but it's just ahead of him. And Harpus, captain of Birkalla, takes that one, and he'll look to get the play going. And he does. Finds Welsh in the middle of the park. He's able to find the ever willing runner in Matsumoto down the line. And here's Abdullahi.
And Nicholas Harper's been a fantastic contributor to the game in this state as well. But noticing Julian Torreson back on the bench for the colour.
Yes, he was on the bench last week. He's not here this week. And I'll tell you the story about that in a second. Here's Ibrahim. He looks to cut on his right and cross, and does so. Cleared by Toriani, only as far as Ibrahim, and he's able to get down the line and cross. This time cut out by Falco. Good work there from Birkalla.
I'm guessing Julian, similar to you over the years, had retired at some point, but the club managed to get him back. So tell me more about that story.
He did retire, but Birkalla in the off-season, they obviously have Harpers playing and things like that in the off-season, getting them ready for pre-season. But in pre-season, they lost both Harpers and their reserve keeper in Woolley. So they asked Torrenson just to help him out, just to come back in during the pre-season. So he played a few games in pre-season as Yates swings this one in, but can't beat Baselli before the 18-yard box, and it'll be another corner. So Torrenson, they were happy to get Torrenson back, and he was happy to jump back on board and just help them out. And he was on the bench last week. This week he's not on the bench because he's actually away hunting.
Oh, wow.
Yep, he's an avid hunter, and it's duck season, so he's out and about hunting at the moment. I have no idea where, but Yates swings this one and goes near post, cleared by Falco, only as far as Ibrahim. He hits it first time. Only as far as Jared Clark, and it's all a bit of a goalmouth scramble. Burke's player goes down. It was Andy Janto on the far side who went down in the end, but Tom Brinkworth has pointed to a goal kick.
I mean, not overly convincing the shot back in from the corner, but almost managed to get something out of it. Ibrahim thought it might have been a little bit more on that shot.
He certainly didn't hit it cleanly, that's for sure. It did fall to Clark, who would probably love scoring against his former side. He did spend a number of years at FK Beograd. As FK Beograd able to play out from the back, here's Falco down the line to Atkinson. He's met with Anajanto, but FK Beograd win it back. Game hasn't hit the heights I was hoping for just yet.
Both teams just feeling each other out a bit. I'm not sure either team's going to get too much joy in the long ball through the middle channels, though, to be honest.
Here's Constander. That's blocked by Vidmar. Then it's wide to Atkinson. He hits it. It's hit. Cleared by Jared Clark off the line. It looked like it might have just hit the post, but Clark in the right position there to be able to clear.
If they're going to go long, you've got to go in the wide areas. And I think that both teams have got pace to burn in those areas. So that's probably where, but hey, we'll see how the game plays out. It's early days.
FK Beograd getting that shot on target, but fortunately for Birkalla, Clark was there. Here's Atkinson. He's unable to get past Anajanto. Sakani touches inside to Anajanto. Neon Kuru can't get there, but Sentafanti does for FK Beograd. Here's Konstantopoulos on the far side. Up against Matsumoto. Good battle there between those two. Matsumoto comes away with a nice little back heel there, and Walsh comes away with it for Birkalla. He goes inside and finds Zoe Sakani. He loses out to Atkinson. Here's Toriani. I'm really looking forward to that battle. Here's Boselli. Through two. Looks in the middle to Hussein, but he can't bring it under control, and it comes away with Birkalla end to end at the moment. Here's Ibrahim inside to Sakani. He looks for
just that final pass a couple of times for both teams at the moment, just breaking down. Just be a little bit more patient.
Certainly was end to end there for a few minutes. It just seemed to back and forth, and I'd like to see more of that. But FK Beograd at the moment just happy to slow the ball down and keep the ball and try and play out from the back. As Nunn looks for Hussein, finds him. He's unable to flick it onto a player, but Clark blocks that one out, and Boselli ends up winning the throw.
It's an interesting formation that Beograd are playing, because you see that just then with, where is he, number 22?
Oh, Neon Kuru.
Yeah, coming out of that space and allowing that ball to get played into Hussein, but no one really underneath him to bounce off to. Like, he didn't have a lot of options when he received the ball there, other than to flick it on or to try and go forward. So it's interesting what's happening in that middle area of the pitch for Beograd.
Here is Hussein up against Clark, and Clark gets there first and gives a corner away. As I wouldn't mind betting, you'll find Boselli will be able to drift between him and Konstantopoulos. Will drift through centrally and out wide on the left-hand side. Try and confuse those players in that area. That's probably why there was no one underneath Hussein for that one, because they probably both drifted out at the same time. This time it is Konstantopoulos on the ball for this corner. Right footer in swinger. One arm up. Goes far post. Harpers gets up and takes that one beautifully. And just behind Nunn. Nunn got up well but couldn't get there. And that's blocked by Atkinson. He's getting a warning.
He put his leg out, but he didn't really move.
No,
he stayed in the same position.
That was quite interesting, because all he was doing, he was running back.
Yeah.
And as Harpers went to clear it, he just stuck his foot in the way, and Harpers booted it into him. So that's very interesting I might have to chat with the referees about that. It was quite interesting. I've never seen that happen before, and it's a free kick. So, because I know he's allowed to kick, obviously, but I'm not sure as to at what point from that kick is it where it's not in his control any further. Centofanti wins the header, and Niankuru will touch back down. Here's Baselli. He's able to run at Yates and Matsumoto, and eventually loses out to Yates, and Yates comes away with it. And here's Abdullahi on the far side. As you're saying, that look to use his pace. He's certainly a quick winger, Abdullahi. Here's Anajanto. He's happy to go back to Vidmar. Welsh, Yates. Forward to Sakani. Sakani's able to turn and face forward. Finds Welsh, but he loses out to Atkinson, but falls kindly for Klassen Thomas. Here is Ibrahim. Klassen Thomas will look to find Welsh in, and finds him. Welsh cuts it across. Cleared by Cooper Nunn. Great play there from Birkalla.
Really good. Nice passing, nice movement. Great vision.
That looks at it like Ibrahim will look to take this one long, and does go long into the box. Welsh is outjumped by Toriani, cleared by Baselli. Hussein doesn't have much help at the moment, but he's up against Andy Janto into his back, and he's going to win the free kick. And FK Beograd not happy about that at all.
It was bound to happen. And Giato, very experienced as well. Draw the contact. Referee, easy decision really at the end of the day.
Certainly was, and Giano just feeling the back of his head on that one, as it would have whiplashed his neck a little bit. But yeah, experience there, just waited for the touch. And just
another player that's seems to have been around for a long time. He's still a young lad, but goodness me.
Yeah,
a fantastic contributor to the game again over the years.
He is now
very smart too.
You say he's young. He's now 34.
Is he?
Andy Janto, yeah.
Wow.
And the scary part is I was there when he debuted. I was playing when he debuted.
Hey, we were there when most people debuted.
Yeah. He debuted at Olympic when I was at Olympic.
Aha.
So we played in the same team together.
Is that when George was coaching?
No, Branko Milosevic.
Oh, Branko, of course, yeah.
Here's Ibrahim for Birkalla. He looks to cross, cut out by Falco, done well there. Welsh. He is able to cross. Abdullahi knocks it down, but Cooper Nunn clears. And Hussein brings that down, looks to bring Atkinson in. He looks to beat Welsh, but with no luck, and Welsh wins the free kick.
Tussle.
Tom Brinkworth not taking any of that, just telling both players to stand up. As at the moment, this has the potential to spark, I think.
Yeah, it does. I think without Blackwood, though, I can't really see pumping balls into the box like this. I mean, this could come back to be a commentator's curse just quietly, but I feel like with the quality they've got through the midfield, just keep that ball moving through there and I don't know, I sound like a broken record already, but just getting balls into those wide areas and try to create chances on the ground, getting the box. And it's always great for other players to get opportunities, but certainly early stages would indicate that they are missing the presence of Blackwood in that nine role.
Yeah, big shoes to fill for Klassen Thomas. We've seen it before. We saw it last year when Klassen Thomas played through the middle as a 9. It looks like he's playing a bit of an interchangeable role with Zoisakani this
almost
evening.
rotating through, yeah. Which is good. Again, both players can do that quite well, so it's a good opportunity for them to do that. Get on the ball.
Oh, I was going to say here is Klassen Thomas, but he lets that one slide past him. As FK Beograd will come away with the ball again, and just a quick score check. Thanks to One World LED, Raiders have taken a 3-0 lead into half-time against Atletico in the HPG Home State League 1, and Eastern United still one apiece with Adelaide Cobras. And there is another game on tonight in the RAA NPLSA, and that is Adelaide Comets versus Adelaide United Youth, and that'll be played in the Parklands. But like I said, stay tuned to this one. Third versus fourth in what should be a great battle, and it's certainly warming up at the moment.
In A-League action, Western Sydney have equalised.
So there's that 2-2.
2-2 into the second half.
Neon Kura into the back of Yates, and he wins that free kick. Is that being played in Sydney?
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to watch Adelaide United for a while, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, because now that the RA NPLSA is back on, I do tune into that a lot more. As is that Ibrahim, loses out to Falco, and he finds Baselli. Baselli's able to turn and go forward. He looks for Falco down the line, but he ain't going to beat Anajanto there. Anajanto, certainly Falco senior, but Anajanto certainly the experience. As there is a tussle in the corner, and eventually the ball goes out for a throw to Birkalla.
The crowd has bolstered up a little bit since we first got here, Taubes, as well. I can see it's relatively healthy, not too bad.
Yeah, Birkalla normally have a reasonable crowd, especially on a good night like tonight, and FK Beograd will certainly bring their crowd. As Konstantopoulos keeps the ball, goes back to Marcus Orchard, formerly Sturt.
Adelaide City before that as well,
Yep.
I think. Been a good player again. Number of quality players out there, as you'd expect, this level.
Konstantopoulos looks for Baselli down the line and cut out there by Matsumoto. Here's Baselli. Loses out. Matsumoto's able to come away with it and finds Welsh, and Birkalla just happy to keep the ball at the moment and play out. Here's Anajanto. He turns out and goes back to his goalkeeper and Harpus, who goes long. Toriani up against Sakani. It's a good battle, that one. Looking forward to seeing more of that tonight between those two, as that's given away. And here's Centofanti. He finds Atkinson. He looks to cut inside and goes back to Centofanti. Now Baselli cuts inside onto his left and crosses, looking for Constant. He gets a slight challenge from Matsumoto, but can't get his head onto that one, and that goes out for a goal kick.
Well, if you're ever going to win a header, it's probably the best to be against Matsumoto at the back post there. Probably could have done a little bit better, but Matsumoto nicely just enough contact there to put him off.
Yeah, just enough to put him off. As we get the game underway again through a Birkalla goal kick, and here is Anajanto. Blocked by Atkinson and out for another goal kick. These teams have played each other a few times in the last few years. As you mentioned earlier, Ben, last season, both getting 3-1 wins away from home in those two fixtures. Here's
There's the space.
Abdullahi into the box up against Toriani, goes round him but touched too long, and Toriani happy to see that one out for a goal kick. Both got 3-1 wins away from home last year with Welsh and Conway. Tyrese Conway scoring for Birkalla that day at FK Beograd, and Tyrese Conway on the bench today. And Uday Koike, who's no longer with FK Beograd, he scored for FK Beograd last year in that game. And then here at Jack Smith Park, Birkalla getting one goal through Conway, and Beograd winning 3-1. Riley Stam, Maxim Ivanic and Baselli. Now both Stam and Ivanic scoring goals aplenty at West Adelaide this season. Prior to that, 2022 was when they played against each other. That year, FK Beograd having the wood over Birkalla, 3-2 win both games. And Josh Murray scoring goals for FK Beograd. Falco scoring a goal as well. Austin Ayubi,
Wow.
scoring for Birkalla before he went on his A-League journey.
And he went to Metro after that as well, didn't he? Before he played for Adelaide United. He's had a bit of an injury, I think, last couple of weeks. Aussie. It'd be great to see him back out there sooner rather than later. I haven't checked the team list today.
No, I certainly didn't, unfortunately. His hands in the back, and Hussein's asking the question, but that goes all the way through, and Clark ends up coming away with it. Eventually the ball sides with FK Beograd, and Cooper Nunn's able to get the ball out wide to Orchard. He goes down the line to Konstantopoulos on the far side. He crosses, blocked by Matsumoto, and Clark clears. Centofanti well positioned there. And Konstantopoulos regains possession. Some of the goal scorers for Birkalla that year is Calvin Mbaga.
Oh, Calvin.
Yep.
Got to coach him last year. Fantastic.
Orchard swings out in. Konstantopoulos free head, and he tries to guide that back to Atkinson, but only as far as Matsumoto. And Birkalla come away with it. A little bit disappointing there for FK Beograd in such a good position. As Nunn pulls down Sakani. And then last time, and then before 2022, Ben, the last time we played 2021 in State League 1. Both promoted that year, Birkalla finishing first, and then they won their prelim final because FK Beograd made it straight through to the GF, and then FK Beograd beating Birkalla in that GF. 2-0, goals by Stefan Simic and Kyle Markham.
Wow. Seems like a million years ago.
It certainly does.
It was played at the Parks, I think, from memory, wasn't it?
It was played at Velo, yes. Well, what was then called Velo, then it was Apex, and now it's something else. I can't remember what it's called now.
I should remember. I was out there Wednesday night, saw Stav. Didn't have any food, saw Archie as well.
Oh, geez, that's the best part about going
home. No, tell me about it, but it's a long drive home, so I just had to rush off.
No, that's a fair shout. Here's Atkinson for FK Beograd, looking for Hussein in behind and finds him. Hussein's into the box. He cuts it back to Atkinson. Atkinson hits it first time, and he's hit the post. And out for a goal kick. FK Beograd with a great opening there. And in the end, Atkinson off the post. And as you were saying, Ben, the chances, get the ball wide and in behind. That's what they've done there.
Yeah, and it was just a change of pace there as well, wasn't it? Which caused a few problems for Birkalla. Unfortunately, didn't get the end result with the goal, but certainly some signs.
Certainly were, and Atkinson coming close with that left foot. He's cut inside and hit it, and it was Harpus was beaten all ends up, but unfortunately was unable to beat the upright as Hussein pulls down Vidmar, and he's going to go into the book for that one.
Escape at a caution on this occasion.
First booking for the evening goes to Hussein for FK Beograd in the 29th minute. And chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with the RAA. Proud sponsors of the RAA, NPLSA. Very high boot there from Sakani. Gets away with it, as does FK Beograd.
Lucky he didn't make contact.
Certainly is. That could have been in trouble there as Baselli looks to switch. Does so, finds Falco, captain for this evening. He looks inside and finds Hussein. Can't quite bring it under control, and Harpus ends up clearing it. And it's Ibrahim with a great touchdown, but Welsh only kicks it into him. Here's Baselli, top of the box, goes left. Clark comes out, wins the ball, and comes away with it. Looks to play Klassen Thomas, and he's met by Centofanti, and he wins it and comes away with it. Now Clark's out of position. Here's Konstantopoulos inside to Baselli. Baselli into the box, back to Konstantopoulos. He crosses. Here's Atkinson, hits it. Saved by Harpus. Flag's now gone up. What play that is from FK Beograd, and what a save from Harpus.
I'd love to see the replay on that, because I don't know who was interfering with play in that offside position at what point, but I mean, trusting the assistant referee that he's got that correct, but didn't look like it from here at that point. But I don't know if you've been watching much of the Asian Cup, Women's Asian Cup, but almost every goal is getting checked at the VAR every time. It's like, goodness me.
I'm so glad we don't have VAR at this level.
Oh, my goodness.
As Tom Brink was just having a chat there with Sakani, but what a save that was from Harpus to keep the scores at 0-0, 30 minutes in, thanks to One World LED and Sportal Systems for all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions.
A couple of escapes there by Birkalla, though, in the last couple of minutes. Could have easily been 2-0 down on the end of those two.
Certainly could have. FK Beograd certainly had the better of the chances in this half now. I don't think Woodlands has had a save to make at this stage. FK Beograd have hit the post and forced Harpus into a fantastic save there after some great build-up play. But that all stemmed from Birkalla losing the ball in the middle of the park when Clark had stepped out and left a gaping hole. As Hussein looks to win that, but Vidmar Nice strong header there, and it's a bit of head tennis at the moment, but Yates is happy to bring that one down. Here's Abdullahi on the far side, and Orchard straight onto him. That might be just the spark that FK Beograd need to raise just the intensity levels a little bit.
Just flirting with a little bit of danger in that area there too. Like, if you're going to play those balls in those areas, you've got to be a bit stronger on the ball or come to the ball. You don't want to risk losing the ball there like they did just earlier, especially if with Jared Clark being out of position.
Here's Anagento down the line to Classon Thomas. He's able to play inside to Welsh. And happy to go all the way back to Clark, who goes long looking for Classon Thomas. Woodlands comes out with the fist and does well with a double-fisted punch there, and Atkinson's able to clean up for FK Beograd. And Falco puts his boot through that, and he gives it away to Birkalla, who's able to get the ball down. Here's Abdullahi, Welsh. Not the same page as Classon Thomas there, but Birkalla regained possession. Here's Ibrahim. Goes to go down the line, but cut out by Falco. Just as I was talking earlier about Anthony Trimboli out injured and Ivanic scoring goals for West Adelaide, they're both here. Ivanic just watching former colleagues, and Anthony Trimboli watching his team from the sideline. Here's Zakani into the box, up against Falco, able to cross.
Ooh,
Chips, it looks to chip Woodlands, and Woodlands has to make the save.
Looked exciting there in that moment.
Certainly did. Something I'd expect from Zakani, just able to pick something out and try something, and he almost chipped Woodlands, but Woodlands got the height and the jump on that. I've got a quick score update in HBG Home State League 1. Just before half-time, Eastern United 2, Adelaide Cobras 3.
Wow, it's all happening there.
It certainly is. Let's see if we get some of that spark here as we tick over 33 minutes. Birkalla with the corner. Brinkworth's just holding up play, and he's going to have a chat with what looks to be Anagento and Konstantopoulos in the box. And Yates will look to swing this one in.
Well, should have to be the target. Oh, no, it's
Goes
not.
short
It's
for...
not a bad delivery. Ooh.
Goes
better again.
Yeah, he went along the ground, top of the box for Abdullahi, who made the space. Great run from him, and his shot just blazed over the bar.
I love Ryan Yates' range of distribution. Saw him in the warm-up, just his touch sublime, and he could just knock a ball really nicely. So that delivery, nice. Probably should have been better finish at the end, but next time hopefully they can capitalise.
Well, the amount of space that he found himself at the top of the box, you'd want to hope he's testing the goalkeeper at least.
Definitely.
But no save there for Woodlands, as that's cut out, and we'll go out for a throw-in on the far side, just past the halfway line for FK Beograd. Here at Jack Smith Park in round 4 of the RAA NPLSA, proud sponsors of the NPL here in SA. As Santafanti can't win that one off Classon Thomas, and a long way comes Welsh. He's able to go wide to Ibrahim. Forced to go inside, and he does so. Finds Zakani. Zakani with the first touch, then hits it. Low, but blocked by Toriani, and Ibrahim wins it. But Nyankuru, strong in the challenge, comes away with it. Here's Atkinson. He finds Hussein, who looks to go inside and does. Finds Atkinson again. Here's Atkinson tackled by Ibrahim. Eventually, Ibrahim comes away with it and wins the free kick. Atkinson must be thinking, what do I need to do at this stage?
Yeah. Sakani, on the other hand, getting some good action there as well. His feet's been really good. Nice change of direction, close control. Looks like he's getting a bit more involved in the game.
The type of player you certainly want involved in the game. He can unlock defences. He can find that defence splitting pass.
Probably surprisingly had a little bit too much time on the ball there.
He probably had more than what he thought, that's for sure. Here's Boselli, unable to find that ball down the line to Konstantopoulos. As Orchard goes down the line looking for Boselli. He's blocked by Matsumoto and wins the free kick.
A little bit clumsy.
Well played there from the FK Beograd attacking midfielder, just waiting for that touch and succouring Matsumoto in. This will allow FK Beograd to send the tall timber forward in the likes of Kupanon and Toriani. Toriani already a goal this last week from a free kick. Beautifully hit past the Para Hills goalkeeper into the far corner. This time Konstantopoulos on the ball and will look to swing it in. He's got some tall targets. Orchard also gone forward, and he's certainly no slouch when it comes to height. He's got a bit of height about him for a left back, and Konstantopoulos swings this one in. Goes near post, but Yates is there, and he's able to get his foot onto that, and that goes very high. Might bring rain. Let's hope not. Centre Fundy goes all the way back to Falco, and he in turn goes all the way back to Woodlands.
Oh, should have maintained this run.
He certainly
Easy to say from here.
Yeah, exactly.
I got cramped just watching him.
Woodlands was happy to take the touch. As Konstantopoulos up against Clark, and Clark wins out.
Clark's been really good tonight.
He's been fantastic and wins out there. As Yates finds Abdullahi. A good battle there between Neon Kuru, but Ibrahim can't bring that one under control, and Toriani goes all the way back to Woodlands, and he'll go long. Atkinson up against Welsh and Anajanto, and Birkalla come away with it. Here's Ibrahim.
Just sort of seem to back themselves, not back themselves a little bit in those areas, the two lads.
Yep.
They've got the pace, maybe, I don't know what they've been told, but there's a couple of moments there where you go, you know what, just back yourself, go for it, be brave.
They certainly could do, and that was Abdullahi, apologies, as FK Beograd just slowed the game down with Baselli down injured at the moment. He's going to bring the trainer on. As FK Beograd certainly don't want to lose a player of Baselli's qualities and capabilities, that's for sure. And as we have that small break in play, which will be added on at the end of this half, chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. And no changes to those round-the-ground scores, thanks to One World LED and Sportal Systems for all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions. As we tick over 38 minutes played into the 39th minute here at Jack Smith Park in the RAA NPLSA round 4 clash between the home side Birkalla and the away side FK Beograd, both sitting relatively high in the table, 3rd and 4th respectively, with Playford out on top at the moment with 3 wins from 3 games on 9 points.
The sleeping giant Playford over the last couple of years.
Yep, certainly have. They've got Benny Moore in charge, and he's been there for a number of years now, and that settled leadership has certainly come to fruition. Adelaide City sitting in 2nd at the moment as FK Beograd get the ball, and we get the game going again, as it will be, like I said, there will be a few minutes of stoppage time added on. Here's Centofanti. He comes through the middle to Toriani, and in turn turns out and finds Falco. He goes line, finds Baselli almost, and Vidmar cuts that out, but only as far as Atkinson. He's able to cut inside, and he sprays a wide pass out there to Orchard and finds Konstantopoulos on the far side. Happy to cut inside onto his right, delivers. Cleared by Vidmar. Good battle there between, looked like Abdullahi and Neon Kuru, and eventually Yates wins the free kick. As there will certainly be time added onto this first half. We've had a few players go down. Certainly one's needed treatment, but the other ones have spent a few, probably good 30 seconds on the ground, so as we tick over 40 minutes. And we do have a goal in the HPG Home State League 1, as Raiders have now taken a 4-0 lead over Adelaide Atletico. As there, I think they might come unstuck this evening. They've started off their first three games really quite well for Adelaide Atletico. It looks like tonight Raiders might have the better of them in their first stint in State League 1, with Raiders coming down, obviously being relegated last season. So it's going to be a tall order for Adelaide Atletico, as Enigena goes long looking for Klassen Thomas. Konstantinopoulos clears only as far as Sakani. Sakani hits it, and that one's high and wide.
There was only one thing on his mind when that ball dropped.
Certainly was. He brought that one down. It sat nicely for him, and unfortunately for Birkalla, he couldn't make it count. Unfortunately for FK Beograd, Woodlands was happy to watch that one sail high and wide and hit the back netting. Woodlands go short to Neon Kuru as FK Beograd again happy to keep the ball at the back and try and play out. He looks in for Hussein, who gets a touch to Neon Kuru. He goes wide to Falco. Good play from FK Beograd. Here is Falco. Delivers, cut out by Birkalla, but Falco regains possession. Here's Neon Kuru. All the way back to Toriani.
I like Neon Kuru's game tonight as well. Worked hard, had a lot of value in that space. On the ball, nice.
You don't get too many bad games out of Neon
Solid.
Kuru. He's very young but very reliable player in the heart of FK Beograd's midfield.
I think for any young player wanting to play that 6 type of role, just even watching him when the ball's not near him, just how he finds the space, scanning and checking all the time, looking how he can get involved. There he is again.
Played that one a little bit short, but Centofanti happy to knock that one long, and Atkinson makes a bit of work out of it, and FK Beograd still managed to keep the ball as Orchard launches that one high. That one's certainly going to bring rain if there was clouds in the sky, but Vidmar happy to get his head on that one. Fortunately for us, Benny, it's a very clear night here at Jack Smith Park. Beautiful weather.
Sure is.
For a game of football. Supposed to get to about 19 degrees tonight. I was here last week, Ben, and it was funny. Brought a jumper with me last week, and I thought, I'll take it with me just in case. I ended up having it on and needed more. It was that cold last week. Got down to about 15 degrees here at Jack Smith Park last Friday. So I'm very happy with tonight's weather at the moment.
You've almost got to bring clothes for all seasons at the moment, of the way the weather is.
Certainly that way. Here's Neon Kuru for FK Beograd. He goes wide to Falco. Falco looks to deliver and does. It takes a deflection. Awkward bounce, and it just bounces over Hussein's head, and Harpus happily takes that one.
And Harpus, the busier of the two keepers, certainly in this first 45 minutes.
Jenna goes line, but knocks that one out of play. Centofanti takes a throw acquisition for FK Beograd from Campbelltown in the off-season. He regains possession from Falco and eventually all the way back to Woodlands. And in the RAA NPLSA other clash this evening, Adelaide Comets against Adelaide United. It is currently 0-0 with 15 minutes played there, as Orchard wins the free kick. I've noticed Ben Orchard playing very high on that left-hand side, which has been quite interesting, because it's when you're up against the players of likes of Abdullahi and Ibrahim on the two wings, both very, very quick, and he's playing very, very high.
Well, it is a little bit risky at times, especially in transition, but it seems to be working for them at the moment, and Birkalla haven't really exploited that space when they've had the opportunities, so at the moment, wouldn't change too much in that space.
That's Konstantinopoulos eventually able to turn away from Klassen Thomas, and here's Centofanti, and he finds Toriani and Birkalla back into their defensive setup, which makes it hard for FK Beograd to try and break down. They're going to try and draw them out, as Nunn looks for that high-playing Orchard, and this is where they could be in trouble.
Matsumoto,
comes out. Here's Abdullahi. He goes wide to Welsh. Welsh in the right wing position at the moment. He goes inside and finds Sakani. Sakani looks for Abdullahi, who cuts it back. Matsumoto can't get there, and Toriani, great defending there, as his position was brilliant, and he's able to chest it back to Woodlands. Cool, calm and collected.
It's one of those interesting ones, though, isn't it? You see Matsumoto in the box, you're not going to put it in the air. Crisp along the ground, cut it back to his feet. That's in the back of the net for me. But a missed opportunity there for Birkalla, but some really good passing and good movement. And just spoke about that, those transition moments. That's the opportunity where they can exploit those wide areas.
FK Beograd now come away with it, and they're happy to, again, keep the ball just wait for the pass, not force the issue just yet. Toriani, he switches it out to Cooper Nunn. He goes wide to Atkinson, who's popped up on the left-hand side.
We're talking about Neon Curry before as well in that role, but Centofanti's really allowed him to be able to do that job, and Centofanti's done a fantastic job dropping in between the two central defenders and providing support defensively, but also being an option to look to play out.
Oh, as Atkinson with the acrobatic from 18 yards out, bicycle kick, and Harper's happily into the breadbasket and gets the game going through Matsumoto. But yeah, Centofanti certainly allows Neon Kuru to do what Neon Kuru does best, and that is track, run, and then get into positions where he can play the ball. And Centofanti just happy to clean up and play the simple balls. It's a great acquisition for FK Beograd to allow Neon Kuru the opportunity to do what he does best.
So important, isn't it, to get those individual players to complement each other and work together and
find the balance.
Yeah, and they're doing that incredibly well.
As Brinkworth brings us to the end of the first half with only just shy of 2 minutes of time added. Ben, what do you make of that first half?
Well, at the end of it, I mean, relatively even, but certainly Beograd had the best of the chances. Birkalla, just that final ball in that final third, sometimes probably just a little bit better with their decision making, but all to play for in this second half. There's no doubt about that.
It certainly is. So we're going to take a quick break and join us on the other side of this break for the second half here in the RAA NPLSA at Jack Smith Park between Birkalla and FK Beograd.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jade Robran on the scene as it happens. Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Everyone wants to win. You know, we're not here to make up the numbers. thing. We've been around as a soccer club here at Plympton for 20-25 years now. We're really happy to be in State League 2 South Division for 2026.
We want to be attractive to everyone because we want people to come here and play.
Yeah, really been focusing on getting the group together and really setting that expectation to be a team from day one.
From the players to the coaches, the committee members, it's all one big family.
It's going to be tough for all the opposition to play us. They don't know anything about us. We're a young squad, but we've really got good energy, a really good bunch of boys.
So it's a big club with over 300 players, and over 1,000 members. So we're a strong brand, and we need to back ourselves.
If you go out there and you're just going for the draw and you're playing against the top teams and you go, you can't compete against them, there's no point playing.
I think this club's ready to take anything on. I think it's ready to boom. I think senior level, junior level, mini roos, we've got a really strong supporter base, and I think we're going to see something really special coming to 2026.
I love refereeing because it's a challenge, to go out to try and get the right decision, manage some of the egos or the personalities, knowing that you've got all these different types of people at play. And there's actually been a good life school as well. I started refereeing junior games on the Sunday. I was playing in senior football on the Saturday, so I felt like making some money. I think I was a decent player back then. I could have stayed around and played senior football in NPL, but I decided to go refereeing, and I've got in the National League much quicker than if I was as a player. Probably wouldn't have made it as a player, to be honest. Just kind of never looked back and was happy to progress. But I think people should try refereeing. I think it's a great tool to realise, how you can also contribute to part of the game. There's pathways. Definitely it can be a rewarding career.
Not sure which one will take it. It might be Baselli. No, it's Toriani. He's hit it well, and it's hit into the corner. That's a cracking finish. And FK Beograd, somewhat against a lot of play, have gone 1-0 up in the 6 minutes. I think they're coming to celebrate with us. And here is the corner on the far side. Konstadopoulos takes it. The wind takes it as well. And that's gone all the way in from the corner. Clear in. Goal from a corner. You don't see that very often, Theo. And FK Beograd go 3-0 up. Para Hills Knights in deep trouble now.
The right boot of Samopoulos or the left boot of Karo Felix. It will be Samopoulos! Into the top left and completes the night of goal scoring.
think something most people don't realise about being a referee is how rewarding it actually is, and like the amount of friends and mates you make along the way. Like, it's just a really great community. I was really nervous. I just got a random call up and I went out to the ground, but it was really great. Like, I had great support my first game, and it was really good to just be surrounded by people who did support me. I love officiating football because it's really rewarding, and like, it's a great way to be still a part of the game even if you aren't playing. I think my "this is why I do it" moment was last year, this year actually. I made my debut as an A-League official, and just being in front of like a big crowd was really cool to have experience, and it clicked in that moment. I was like, yeah, this is 100% why I do it. I have a great support system like here at FSA behind me. I would 100% say to someone who was thinking of becoming a referee to absolutely just go for it. Like, it's not as scary as you think it might be. Like, it's really good.
Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG.
You supported us on a Sunday, so come support us on a Saturday.
For Elizabeth Downs, it's a huge step up for the club. The club started in 1962, originally a school-based team, and as the club evolved, we needed some avenue for our juniors to start playing seniors, so we entered the South Australian Amateur League. From there we've just progressed, and over the last 10-20 years we've had quite a successful period in the Amateur League, and now we're looking to extend that success.
We've had players play at the highest level, and we've also got a bunch of lads who have just been signed and have come through the ranks over the years who are 18, 19 years old, so it's a real good mixture of experience and youth, I think. Now there's just a perfect challenge, I think, to really build some more history and to get some more trophies over the line as well.
We're going to be difficult to break down, and certainly we'll have plenty of pace up front. We've got plenty of good ball players in the middle of the park, getting those guys into the final third and getting them one-on-one to take on those defenders. Our expectations are that we're aiming for promotion and potentially winning the league.
When we hosted Metro here in the quarterfinals of the Cup, that night was absolutely booming. We would have had 2,000 people here playing against a Div 1 NPL side. It was just a magic night. We won on penalties, we come back from behind, it just had everything that game.
I think the one message we'd like to send is that we're not here to have a trial year or make up numbers. I think we're here to get promoted and to win it all.
The supporters that have supported us for the last 15 years of my career here, they played together. If that doesn't describe what pride and passion is, playing together, supporting the club for 15 years, that's what we're about, and that's what I hope my team will be about in 10, 15 years when we all retire and watch the next generation.
Come on! Wait up!
Is everyone ready to play?
Welcome back to Jack Smith Park for the second half. This round 4 area NPLSA clash, and Birkalla getting us underway as they kick from left to right in their all black and yellow kits. FK Beograd in their all white, as that's a great little touch there from Baselli inside, but Konstantopoulos can't find him back. And Clark will go long looking for Sakani, who holds off Cooper Nunn but loses out to Neon Kuru. No changes that we can see, Ben, at the half?
I was about to say exactly the same thing. Imagine they just settled into this second half. No injury concerns, no anyone standing out as underperforming at this point. So see how the next 10-15 minutes plays out, and then maybe looking to go to the bench.
There's Adrian, the lawyer, coach of FK Beograd, will assess things, as you said, probably in the next 10 minutes. And Stav Galekis, coach of Birkalla, probably do the same. They both seem to be quite content at the moment.
I do feel the way the game's playing out that it is a game that is sort of set up for someone like a Tyrese Conway to come on and have an impact. The old game changer. He loves scoring goals on this ground. I think you said before, scored a goal in this fixture this time last year. Although they were on the receiving end of a loss, 3-1 loss.
They were, but he certainly does like to score. He's done it here for Birkalla, Sturt and South Adelaide in the past, so they may look to that. And as I said, Adrian Deloya, coach of FK Beograd, has got some young players on the bench that he can bring on if required. He is obviously still missing a few players as that ball's down the line for Birkalla into the box. Abdullahi, he looks to cross, does. Cut out by Falco and cleared eventually, only as far as Walsh. Walsh hits it in!
That's a good goal.
First goal of the game, straight after half-time, scored by Alan Walsh.
Not the way you'd want to start the second half for Beograd, but excellent start for Birkalla there, and looking very dangerous in that spot. Nice finish.
Was FK Beograd unable to clear their lines.
Had a couple of bites at the cherry too,
they certainly
didn't they?
did. Abdullahi getting into the box and able to cut it back. And FK Beograd unable to clear their lines right on the goal line, and eventually cleared, but only as far as Walsh, who doesn't need a second invite inside the box to finish, and he does so.
Not the ideal person for it to fall to from a Beograd perspective, that's for sure, but nicely finished. That could just be what they needed, just to sort of settle in a little bit more, because it's didn't really look like scoring, did they, in the first half? I mean, they had a couple of, you said, I think, off the air, 7 shots.
7 shots, two on target, and that's Walsh's first goal of the season. So he'll be happy to get that duck out the way, as we have seen, obviously, over many, many years. Walsh scoring plenty of goals for his former side in Comets. As FK Beograd get us underway again, and that might just open the game up a little bit, scoring so early into this second half. Let's see if that sparks FK Beograd into a little bit more intensity and life going forward.
I know I'm going back to the 80s here, Towers, but I'm feeling that Walsh's dad used to play for Beograd back in the day too. Even won the wasn't called the Serge Melter medal back then, but
Best and Fairest Award.
Here's the Rothmans medal.
Konstantopoulos into the box. He's pushed into the fence, and that's dangerous. They're going to get the physio on for that, because he did hit into the fence, and Matsumoto straight over to check on him, as there is a concrete plinth around the pitch, which is always a worry. This is one of the issues I have with the artificial grounds, is that those concrete plinths around the pitch. As player straight over, Matsumoto, first one over to make sure he's okay. As it was a very good battle between the two.
Yeah, I agree. There's sometimes where you see the players' momentum in certain areas and you think, shivers, it's almost inevitable they're going to go into the fence at some point. But that cement, that's that little barrier.
Yeah, that concrete plinth is
had
dangerous.
Players, I mean, because Modbury Vista have got quite a big one behind theirs, and I think someone got injured a couple of years ago from that. But look, it's not a fault of any clubs or anything like that. I'm sure there's some sort of a risk assessment, and you've got a duty of care, but obviously there is always a risk, but thankfully it doesn't happen too regularly.
So it doesn't happen too regularly, so we hope that Konstantopoulos is able to continue, as the trainer will work on him, and Birkalla will be able to get us underway with a goal kick, as he is already off the pitch, and FK Beograd's reserve substitutions have headed out to warm up, and the good thing is Konstantopoulos is back up on his feet, so that's good to see, but he'll take his time as Brentworth just does hold up the game just to make sure that he is okay, which he doesn't have to do, to be honest, but I think that's just a nice way of doing it, just to make sure that he is okay. As Brentworth also, the coach has a, sorry, not the coach, the referee has a duty of care as well.
While we wait to resume as well, of course, for those that are more interested in this game than the Adelaide United game, they did come away 4-2 victors away to Western Sydney. It was a great result for Adelaide United as they head into the final stages of the season. But we're back with NPL round 4.
We are. Thank you to the RAA NPLSA, the sponsors of this league that we call the RAA NPLSA, which I do love, the local game. And chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. As Birkalla get us underway, and Konstantopoulos is jogging, which is great to see him back on his feet and able to continue. He won't be able to come on just yet because the ball is on this side of the pitch. He has to wait until the ball moves out of sort of his area that he's standing on, ready to come on, and now he's able to be back on. Here he is, back on the ball, so that's good to see. He's able to play on. Always worry when I see injuries, especially to the head.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I wasn't sure if there was any blood as well, but didn't seem to be when he was getting treatment, but I wasn't sure if that was part of the reason for the delay to return to the field.
Make sure that he was all right.
Yeah.
And that will certainly add a little bit of stoppage time to the end of this game. At the moment, FK Beograd need that stoppage time at the moment as they are trailing 1-0. On the One World LED and Sportal Systems for all your indoor and outdoor digital display solutions scoreboard here at Jack Smith Park. And as we approach half time in the Adelaide Comets Adelaide United game, it is still 0-0 there. As FK Beograd go long looking for Hussein. He out jumps Welsh.
And Tom Overall now coaching the Adelaide Comets of the senior men's. He was a reserves coach and 18th coach here for a number of years.
It certainly was.
Doing his apprenticeship.
And he actually, I did see, as us commentators do talk to each other, as most people would know, and we also are obviously on the One Game at a Time podcast, found out that they dropped Delingus, the number 1 goalkeeper for Comets this year. They dropped him this week. I'm not sure if it's through injury or illness or anything, or just that they needed a change. So very surprising, as Delingus has been a stalwart for Para Hills over a number of years now. And Dan Vaughan moving on from Comets, going to Campbelltown in the off-season. There was quite a number of changes in the off-season. Player movements as that ball switched. Matsumoto can't quite get there, and neither can Konstantopoulos. And Matsumoto with a big smile on his face going, I can't believe I missed that, but luckily Konstantopoulos, Jason, missed that one. He goes inside and finds Welsh and Yates. Matsumoto goes long, but Cooper Nunn's there for Beograd. Here is Zoe Sakani. Able to get round 1. Up against Centofanti. Turns away from him, keeps the ball moving through Welsh. Welsh looks to go wide and find Matsumoto, but Orchard's there and does very well to deal with that one.
Bit of a David and Goliath battle on the air there for that one.
It certainly was, as Hussein gets there and he
well done.
is out-muscled by Clark, and Clark comes away with it.
Hey, what?
And gives Clark gives away a free kick after the ball's played.
Doesn't seem to be arguing the point, but I didn't see.
No, but
maybe my eye was off the ball for a split second.
To be fair, I've never seen Jared Clark really argue with the referee's decision. I have to admit he's very good in that regard. Just gets on with the game. Here's Baselli, able to turn inside and goes in behind looking for Atkinson. He's
well done.
Beaten to it by Harpus. Harpus out well there. But much better there from FK Beograd, Ben.
Yeah, certainly. Yep. To be a little bit more lively getting in behind there. Need to do a bit more of that. Don't want to get anything out of this game.
As they settle into their defensive shape and allow Birkalla the ball. Here is Welsh, goes wide to Ibrahim. He's able to keep it in and get down the line. Looks to get inside the box, but Neon Kuru does well just to shepherd that one out of the game there, and very well done there from Neon Kuru. I would say used all his experience, but he's only still 22. So,
what experience he has, he used very wisely.
He certainly did. Here's Hussein, flicked around the corner, but cut out by Anajanto. And Birkalla able to come away with it again. It's certainly becoming a bit of a chess match between the two sides. Neither side giving too much away. FK Beograd only down by a goal due to some questionable defending in their own box. And Birkalla making them pay through Alan Welsh with his first goal of the season right after half-time, 10 minutes ago now. Here's Orchard on the ball for FK Beograd. He goes wide to Atkinson. We've got another goal in the HBG home. State League 1, Raiders versus Atletico, and Raiders have now taken a 5-0 lead. As the ball's whipped in, Hussein behind Hussein, cleared by Clark. Konstantopoulos wins that, and that goes out wide to Falco. He almost finds Konstantopoulos, but it falls to Hussein in the box and cleared by Vidmar. There's Birkalla under a little bit of pressure from FK Beograd. Here's Baselli able to turn. Crosses. Here's Hussein in the box. Goes back to Neon Kuru in the end, and here is Falco for FK Beograd. He finds feet. He finds Hussein with a little bit of space. That's shut down quickly, and here's Baselli. Falco crosses. Harpers gets there first in front of Constant with a punch and wins the free kick.
Good ball, Harpers.
Courageous goalkeeping there.
And Hussein, he's held the ball up quite well, but we just need to get a little bit closer to him. We're working off a little bit more combination play around that area. You're getting the ball to your 9 in the box. You've got to be working off him, running off or getting underneath. But some positive signs, balls into box, balls to feet in that space.
He's certainly picking up good spaces. He's just finding a little bit of trouble with not much help, support around him when he is getting that ball under control as Cooper Nunn wins that header. Oh, wow. Great challenge there between Neil Kurud and looked to be Abdullahi, who did a nice little flip over the top as he blocks that ball from Cooper Nunn and puts Beograd under pressure. Woodlands goes long and does well, and that's going to bounce over everyone's head and go all the way through to Vidmar. A great battle there between him and Hussein.
Yeah, sure has.
Here's Matsumoto sitting centrally, and Welsh also sitting centrally at the back at the moment. Just watching off the ball, seeing Sakani looking for a short delivery as Harpers goes long, and the player following Sakani ever so closely is Toriani, following him everywhere. Here's Marcus Orchard, goes back to Nunn. He in turn goes for Woodlands, and Woodlands goes long under some pressure from Ibrahim. And Baselli's going to get there first. Great challenge there between Clark and Baselli. That ball flew high. To be honest, I thought they were going to pop the ball the way they both hit that. So interesting. So solidly. Here's Hussein. He's able to find Baselli wide right. He looks to cross, finds Atkinson, finds him, and Atkinson can't put that on goal, and it's gone wide.
That was a great opportunity. Fantastic delivery.
That was the ball, Ben.
Wow. That is a defender and goalkeeper's nightmare dealing with a ball like that.
Neither of them were able to deal with it.
No.
And in the end, Atkinson going with his right boot when it probably would have been easy maybe going with his left. And he's actually forced it wide. And Birkalla breathe a sigh of relief. But great transition there from FK Beograd.
Need a bit more of that, that's for sure.
Certainly
showing
do.
some good signs. Oh.
That could have put Atkinson as leading goal scorer for FK Beograd. If he put that one away, would have put him up to 3 goals for the season so far. Again, let's just see if FK Beograd rue that missed opportunity.
It could come back to haunt them, that's for sure. It did skid off the ground a little bit. I mean, it had a lot of whip on it, that delivery. It was a great ball in.
Certainly was. And now Birkalla with the opportunity to put a bit of pressure on FK Beograd, as Yates will look to swing this free kick in. And all the tall timber again have gone forward. Vidmar, Sakani, Welsh, Clark, Classen Thomas goes far post. Clark gets a touch, but not enough, and it just skims off his head and out for a goal kick. As we tick over the hour mark played here at Jack Smith Park in round 4 of the RAA NPLSA. Plenty of games.
I mean, not a critical stage of the season, but even still, you're thinking, what do I need to do to get the 3 points? How do we get back into the game? Are we happy with how things are playing out? Do we need to make some changes? All of those things going through the coach's head. You've got split seconds, minutes to make decisions.
Certainly do. And Adrian will be certainly giving those some thought, as we have had games in the WNPL, Apex Steel Women's National Premier League tonight, with Adelaide Comets beating Modbury Vista 2-1. Flinders losing to Birkalla 4-2. Both played, or one played at Service FM, and the Comets game being played at the LJ Hooker Myland Sports.
Was that a double header at Comets, or?
No, the Comets game is a double header, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that was an earlier kick-off, as Classen Thomas comes away with that for Birkalla. He's met by none. He's still going, but Baselli gets a touch, and Classen Thomas works hard to win that one back.
And the live ladder, obviously, at the moment, given that Birkalla, this is their 4th game, would put them on top, at least overnight.
It will do until Playford play tomorrow.
Yep.
That's cut out. And
Beograd at risk, obviously, of losing their spot in the top 6 if the result stays as it is.
Yep.
Over the weekend.
Some other games on tonight in the women's WNPL is Salisbury Inter against West Adelaide. That's a 1 versus 2 in the WNPL. The Women's State League, Elizabeth Grover playing Sturt Lions, and Modbury Jets are playing Adelaide City. And we already know about the other game in the HPG Home State League 1. In the HPG Homes State League 2 South, Western Strikers are playing against Adelaide Uni tonight. And plenty of fixtures for your viewing pleasure tomorrow, as Centofanti looks to get in Constantopoulos behind, but Anagento is going to cut that one out, and Yates cleans up for the second clearance, but only as far as Neon Kuru.
And the icing on the cake of our football weekend, obviously you've got a jam-packed day of junior football on Sunday across the state, but tomorrow night, the big one, Australia versus Japan, this Asian Cup final. And the Matildas, first opportunity to get a trophy in 16 years. Last time they won a trophy, 2010 Asian Cup. Going to have their work cut out for them against Japan. Got ex-junior Matildas coach Leah Blaney at Japan as well.
Here's Matsumoto. He crosses far post as Sakani gets the head, but Ibrahim getting in his way, and he's not happy about that. As Basili makes that work, and Hussein wins a free kick off Jared Clark. Beograd trying to get this game moving as quick as they can, and they do so through Orchard. And tomorrow, more games. Like I said, if you can get out to any of these games, by all means do so. But if you're unable to, you can join us on the FSA League's YouTube channel and watch these games as that ball's cut out by Anajanto. There's Constantopoulos. Crosses. Finds Hussein, but he's offside. Flag's gone up early.
Gee. Because I tell you what, if it wasn't offside, it would have been a risk of a penalty. There's no doubt about that. With the contact.
That's what the FK Beograd coaching staff are complaining about, as both trainers are now required to get out there as Harpers and Hussein.
I was going to say, your view, though, in those situations, most likely goes in favour of the keeper.
Normally, yes, it would do. But I think the fact that Hussein did get that touch first certainly would have been a very close call for the match official in Tom Brinkworth. And the flag went up very early.
It did.
On that far side, as both players are just getting treatment. And as I'll continue tomorrow, WNPL Metro Stars taking on Adelaide Uni at 4:30, TK Shutter Reserve, and in the Campbelltown City Women's are playing against the Football SA NTC squad, or Seniors Women's squad, at 5 o'clock at Steve Woodcock. And I think that is also a double header with the Campbelltown men's.
Excellent.
In the State League, Cove against Jaguars, and Benny, your game tomorrow, Western Strikers away against South Adelaide.
Yeah.
At Carnegie Reserve.
Yep, always a tough battle against Western Strikers.
And then in the HBG Home State League 1 tomorrow, Salisbury United taking on Fulham at PSD Energy Park. South Adelaide taking on Cumberland at O'Sullivan's Beach Sports Complex. And Cove taking on Adelaide Olympic at 5 o'clock. HBG Home State League 2. Plenty of games there tomorrow. Barossa taking on Elizabeth Grove in their first home game in State League 2. Salisbury taking on Port Adelaide. Northern Demons taking on Gawler in what would probably be the most northern derby you can find. Angle Vale taking on Elizabeth Downs, and Mowbray Vista taking on
Again,
the Pontian.
another northern derby.
Yeah, well, they're all northern derbies.
Yeah.
Mowbray Vista taking on Pontian Eagles. As Harpers will get this game going again. And he goes long. As Zakani brings that one down on the far side. It looks that FK Beograd may be going to their bench very soon as players start to receive their notes. In the HBG Home State League South, Vipers taking on Adelaide Hills, Seaford taking on Garn United, Adelaide Titans taking on Mount Barker, and Noarlunga taking on Plimpton Bulldogs. And in your RAA NPLSA, Croydon taking on West Adelaide, Campbelltown taking on Playford, Para Hills against Sturt, and Metro taking on Adelaide City tomorrow night. So plenty of games for people to get out and watch. And like I said, if you can't, tune into the FSA League's YouTube channel. And you'll hear the tones and voices of the commentary team talking you through some of those games. And if you do like us talking football, tune into One Game at a Time on Wednesday evenings for all your catch up from the week's action and a bit of a preview of the week coming. Here is Ibrahim with an effort, and he sent that one just wide, but he certainly hit that early.
Sort of taken him more of an advantage when he's got in those positions in his second half than what he did in the first half. He seemed to sort of hold back a little bit, and just proven that he can create something in those areas as well, which is good. And Beograd going to the bench. Taubes, you're on that?
Yes, it looks to be the change. Marcus Orchard from left back making way for Ethan Harrington, and Neon Kuru coming out of that middle of the park, and young Peter Palassis coming in.
Interesting changes.
It is. I was impressed with the way Neon Kuru is playing, but
you've got to do something when you're 1-0 down, I guess, whatever that is.
You certainly do.
Maybe a little bit more of an attacking option. You don't need a rocket science degree to work that one out. I guess they've got to find a way to score a goal, so whatever they need to do to make that happen.
But taking off the likes of Marcus Orchard at left back and bringing on Harrington, who is certainly a quicker player than Orchard. He did play. Harrington was the number one left back last year for FK Beograd. As Harrington gets his touch to Hussein, he can't fend off Clark. Centre Fanti puts his foot through that, but falls kindly for Harrington. But in the end, Birkalla win out, and Baselli brings down Abdullahi. It'll be interesting to see how long Birkalla hold out before they start making substitutions, as those changes come through in about the 66th minute here at Jack Smith Park. I was going to say Frank Mitchell Park, which is FK Beograd's ground, as Matsumoto goes in and Cooper Nunn wins that header.
It was a bit of a nothing ball though, really.
It was.
Don't know what he's going to do with it when he gets it there.
Certainly was, as Clark goes long.
And Zakani, you want to get to his feet too, that's where he's going to do the most damage. But as we tick into the 70th minute here, FK Beograd 20 minutes left to find something in this game. Here's Sakani. He can't find feet on the far side and cut out by Falco. And Palassis getting involved and wins the ball. He plays wide to Konstantopoulos. Here's Baselli. Harrington. As Clark wins that as well. Clark's been a man mountain tonight. That ball into Zakani. He just can't bring that under control. Great little through ball there from Abdullahi, but Zakani been unable to get that one under a spell. Yeah. certainly looked dangerous as they went forward then, but just not saying anything wrong with the pass, not saying anything wrong with the movement, just slightly out of sync.
Certainly was, as Cooper Nunn here comes wide. He finds Baselli, he dummies, but Clark's there again. And there's a challenge from Clark, and Baselli certainly felt that one.
He's probably lucky not to go in the book. He's had a couple little niggles in this.
He is pulling him across. He's having a chat with him. I don't think he's booking him, but he is having a chat. Clark
might be his last chance.
It might be, but Clark's certainly not one to shy away from a challenge. I think that was probably the final warning. I think the next challenge for Clark, if it is a foul, he will go to the book.
I don't see ever any malice in how he goes in, but certainly makes them accountable, and as you should be in that position. But he now knows that he needs to be a bit careful with this next one.
Here is the substitution. Harrington inside to Atkinson. Loose pass, but falls for Toriani, and he finds Centofanti. Comes wide, finds Baselli in some space. He's able to cross and does so, but it's going to drift all the way through to Harpus. And he goes long looking for Abdullahi, but not able to keep that one in. You might hear a low rumble in the background.
I thought it was a train at first.
A low rumble looks like to be a motorbike club going down Anzac Highway.
Just checking in to see what the score's like.
Yeah.
Obviously not checking their devices while they're
While
riding.
they drive, no, that's for sure. Here's Palacios, he leaves that short. And here's Ibrahim, finds Yates. Yates in turn looks for Klassen Thomas, and Centofanti cuts that out, but unable to bring that under control is Atkinson. Beautiful ball across there to Sakani, who goes inside looking for Klassen Thomas. He's able to turn and face goal, but eventually forced back. Great work there from FK Beograd, and Birkalla all the way back to Vidmar. And again, FK Beograd happy to allow the defenders to have the ball. Here's Matsumoto. Loses out to Centofanti, but that ball's not going to be in favour of Baselli, but he does gain it back. He looks to switch. Doesn't hit that right, but Konstantopoulos makes it work. As FK Beograd really need to start to find something. A little spark to get something out of this game, Ben.
Most definitely, and it's interesting though, because I thought Birkalla there having the bulk of the possession and just settling a little bit, and then uncharacteristically just playing a funny couple of passes, losing possession, now find themselves under pressure.
Here's Harrington, he crosses, far post cleared by Andijanto, and as far as Falco. He looks to cross, drills it across, but blocks, and out for a corner. And One World LED and Sportal Systems for all your indoor and outdoor outdoor digital display solutions. Around the grounds, West Torrens obviously here still 1-0, but Adelaide Comets and Adelaide United 0-0 at half-time. Raiders full-time against Adelaide Atletico, 5-0 winners, and almost game over at Eastern and Adelaide Cobras, who Cobras have a 4-2 win or a lead over Eastern United, as Konstantopoulos will swing this one in.
Oh, down in the box there.
As the ball does come in, but Hussein's gone down, and Brinkworth tells him to wait, as it looks like Birkalla might be going to their bench shortly. It looks to be Conway possibly coming on. Konstantopoulos will try that again. Baselli makes his way to the near post. Goes middle. Cooper Nunn's up. Header. Blocked. Claiming for handball, but it's a corner. What an effort there from Cooper Nunn.
And a well-planned out corner too, just quietly. I mean, you were hoping something was going to come from that, the way they set themselves up, and all reliant on the delivery, which was, they weren't let down there, and just almost getting the equaliser.
Certainly an Arsenal setup.
Yeah.
In their terms of their corner. Everyone at the back post, they all make their way forward. Far post, the ball's gone out.
Yep.
And it's gone in, but the ball had already gone out, was flagged.
He was flagged very early.
It was flagged very early. As soon as he actually taken that corner, it was flagged.
100%. I mean, look, we're not in line with it, but you could tell pretty confidently putting up his flag. The way the ball bent,
yep,
it went out very early, and then made its way back in.
Yep, and Brinkworth is just informing the players that it went out and came back in as Birkalla now look to their bench, and it's Tyrese Conway and Christophilos going to come on, and I would say that would be one of the wingers in either Ibrahim or Abdullahi to make way.
Looks the most likely change.
Boy, he's looking actually both of them. Christophilos normally coming on as a fullback for Anajanto, but in this instance, it's a straight like-for-like swap by the looks of it for the two wingers in Ibrahim and Abdullahi, who both worked hard and both showed glimpses tonight. But for me, I think they could have probably had a bit more of an impact.
Most definitely.
But they did show glimpses, but for me, I'd like to see them a little bit more.
I feel like as they settle in a bit more, get more experience, hopefully they'll have that bit more of an impact. But they're certainly showing some signs, which are positive things.
As Harpers looks to go along with this goal kick. Abdullahi, only 21. Ibrahim a little bit older, about 27 years of age.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Great opportunity with the likes of
Great ball.
Christophilos and
well defended.
Tyrese Conway able to come off the bench, and Birkalla clear through Anajanto, only as far as Centofanti, and he finds Baselli in some space. This is where you want to find Baselli. He's able to cut in on his right, and he does curl it. Unfortunately for him, Harper's read it well and is able to collect.
Yeah, set himself up well there, just needed a little bit more on it. But again, showing some signs as they go forward.
Here's Atkinson for FK Beograd, but he's crowded out and loses out. And here's Welsh, able to stride forward. He looks to find Klassen Thomas. That ball's going to bounce awkwardly. Klassen Thomas gets there.
Oh, he's holding his shirt there.
All right, Brinkworth says 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah,
Cooper Nunn
not
comes
too much
away
in
with
it.
it. He looks to go and find Hussein in behind, but Clark's there again. Here's Palacios. Brinkworth says, play on, Ben. We can't.
Lots of claims at the moment.
It certainly
both
is.
parties.
Here's Baselli. He crosses, but cut out by Matsumoto. As hopefully this game will now start to liven up a little bit more as we close in on 10 minutes remaining. And any time added. Here's Harrington. He crosses. Good ball in, cleared by Vidmo. And Christophilos able to get it under control. He loses out to Falco. Falco back to Konstantopoulos. He's able to cut inside. He comes to Centofanti, who's all alone. And he hits it low, straight into the arms of Harpers.
Don't have the stats in front of me, but guessing those two possibly ex-teammates at Campbelltown at some point.
Harpers and Centofanti.
Yeah.
I would assume so. Centofanti came through played through the reserves and the 18s at Campbelltown, and he is about 27 with Harpers 32, so I would hazard the guess that Harpers did play alongside him as Yates goes into the book for Birkalla.
Hopefully Gail's coming up here to let us know that you won the raffle, Salves. Don't know what the price was.
I have no idea, actually. But we'll keep an eye out. Let's see what happens as FK Beograd have the ball again. Here's Cooper Nunn on this near side. Had a stellar year last year, Cooper Nunn. Was partnered by Banjak last year, but Banjak's now moved along to West Adelaide. Here's Harrington inside onto his right, and he shaped a shoot, but then didn't, and it's fallen to Falco. Falco, volley, and it's in! What's a goal from Falco? 35 out, and he's hit an absolute bomb, Ben.
Wow, that is amazing. That's amazing. Brilliant. Just what the game needed.
There it is, contention for goal of the week.
I was just about to say Harrington's contribution so far since he's come on, he's certainly caused a bit of a nuisance and had an impact when he's come on, and he played a part there as well. But what a finish.
Certainly, that is an absolute outstanding finish from Falco. believe Falco, actually he did, as I thought, 2022 Falco scored against Birkalla in that 3-2 win. As FK Beograd go to the bench again and change Atkinson out. He's got his break. Plenty of hard work from Atkinson. And they brought on young Zach Kosic. And is that going to be the spark that FK Beograd need? Does it make it level 1-1, or is it going to be a spark for as Zakani hits and that goes high and over the bar? Or is it going to be a spark for Birkalla to do something next?
Well, there's been a bit of spark in that first 60 seconds post that fantastic goal. Both teams wanting the 3 points, so let's see what they've got. Let's see what they've got this final 10 minutes. Ryan Yates coming off.
Birkalla going to the bench. And Yates making way. Plenty of substitutions happening at the moment. And Young, very highly rated here. Sakonis coming on. And he'll come straight on, like for like replacement for Yates. As FK Beograd get us underway and they go short. Woodlands then goes long. Gives that away to Vidmar, but his header's not convincing. Not convincing at all. Goes straight to Konstantopoulos. He looks for Hussein down the line, but Vidmar tracks back well and regains possession. And then eventually puts it out for a throw-in and puts the team under a little bit of pressure, Ben.
He certainly did, and we recovered well, but should never have got to that situation, unfortunately. But they now have to deal with this throw-in as it comes in.
But what a finish that was from Massimo Falco.
He'll be looking forward to the highlights reel on that one.
Certainly will, that's for sure. And like I said, that's a contention for goal of the week. That one right there.
Definitely.
But what a hit that was. It sat beautifully after his first touch, and then he was able just to put his boot through it. Harper's at full strength, full length height. Just that jump, but just it dipped at the last moment and
it did
settled under that bar and into the back of the net.
It was going to have to be something special to beat Harper's tonight, I feel.
Certainly was, and that was something special. As Anajanto muscles Hussein off the ball and looks to go long. He does. Finds Sakani. Great turn there from Sakani away from Toriani, but can't find Klassen Thomas. There's that player again in centre Fanti, just picking up the pieces. Here's Constant. Dopoulos loses out to Vidmar. Burke's under a little bit of pressure now, Ben.
They are, and you feel that probably Beograd's changes have had more of the positive impact on the game, which is what you want to see.
They did go to the bench earlier out of the two sides, and it's proven to be a great move. Here's Klassen Thomas. He's now able to run at the back line. Runs at centre Fanti, but Baselli tracks back well and wins the free kick.
Did well. Put yourself in between the player and the ball and you give yourself a chance.
He certainly did, and that was great defensive work from the attack-minded Baselli. Klassen Thomas will be...
Important intervention, that's for sure.
It certainly was. Feel hard done by in the end because he felt he had the run. Here's none. He looks to go in behind and find Kosic, but cut out. And here's Harrington. Loses out eventually. Matsumoto just happy to get his boot on that and send it away from goal. As Birkalla again in the same position, a goal ahead, or last week 2 goals ahead. The week before that 2 goals ahead, and the away team, or in this case FK Beograd. Last week it was Campbelltown. The week before that was Parry, who was able to get the equaliser in this game. But last week they conceded 2. They were lucky they got away with it last week with a very late goal from Blackwood. They don't have Blackwood to call upon this week. They need something else.
Don't change the dial, so they say.
That's it, exactly.
Hang on to your hat.
Grandstand finish here at Jack Smith Park as Woodlands goes long. He looks for Baselli, but bounces all the way through to Matsumoto, and Harpus then clears. Sakani and Nunn up with a great headed battle there. Here's Christophilos back to Klassen Thomas. FK Beograd come away with it again, bit loose. Game getting a little bit sloppy in stages. Not as clean as what it was. Here's Baselli able to get away from 2. Goes inside looking for Falco. Falco brought down by Vidmar. And Brinkworth does pull that one back, and he is going to book Vidmar.
Almost there was an advantage there, but ball just travelled out of play. But again, just a change of pace there, and causing problems for Birkalla at the back.
Certainly was, as trainers called on again. I think we're going to see plenty of injury time in this game, Ben. I think this is the third time we've now had the trainer onto the pitch. And the goal scorer for FK Beograd in Falco feeling the brunt of that one.
And sometimes it's not necessarily just the contact from the player itself, it's when you land on that ground. It's like, goodness me, I'm falling on the road.
Especially landing on these artificial pitches. It's not easy on the body. Ask any goalkeeper, that's for sure.
But some nice movement going forward there by Beograd. And let's see what they can get from this set piece. The set piece delivery has been quite good.
Again, FK Beograd bench, very young side. They are the second youngest side in the league, FK Beograd. Only behind Adelaide United, as to be expected.
Yes.
And it looks like Konstantopoulos over this free kick. His last delivery, albeit did go out slightly, but the end product was in the right spot. Let's see if he can make sure that he should keep this one in. He goes wide.
Different option this time.
Falco delivers. Dangerous ball in, and Jando cuts that one out at the near post.
Yeah, for a corner.
Again, FK Beograd just applying a little bit more pressure.
Let's see what they do this time. See how they line up, and hope that Konstantopoulos can deliver. His delivery on most occasions is very good.
And again, they're all lining up at that far post, and they'll all make their run towards the near post. As they do. In comes the delivery. Middle. None.
Wow.
Gets his head, and that goes out.
Another call for handball.
Yeah, the assistant referee on the far side called for a goal kick, and Brinkworth is pointed straight to a corner. But FK Beograd again claiming for a handball. Are we going to be starting to see this every week in the RAA, NPLSA? They're just lining up at the back. Then they make their move, as they do. Konstantopoulos delivers again. This time he goes far post. Toriani at the far post gets ahead. It goes out to Palacios. He loses out and comes away with Sakani, who finds Conway. Ooh. Conway eventually gets there, but great work there from Centofanti to break that play up and slow them down. Here is Jared Clark for Birkalla. Cut out by Baselli, and FK Beograd now come away with the ball. Here is Baselli. Harrington looks for Kosic. Good flick there from Clark, and Anajanto. Cool, calm and collected, knocks that to Vidmar. And eventually Klassen Thomas goes all the way back to Harpers, who puts his foot through it looking for Christophilos on the far side, but Toriani gets there first, and he loses out, and he's down injured. That could be dangerous. Here's Christophilos, cuts it back to Sakani. Sakani hits blocked by Harrington, and eventually cleared completely as Toriani's still down. Here's Hussain for FK Beograd. His touch is loose, and he had the opportunity to play two players in and couldn't. Toriani's back up on his feet. It's good to see. As that crossed in, Conway gets a great save from Woodlands, and it's in. Conway on the rebound. Makes it 2-1 in the 89th minute. As the delivery was in, Conway was there, but first initial save from Woodlands was brilliant. Couldn't push it far enough wide, and Conway on the rebound makes it 2-1.
And he doesn't disappoint his coach. Go on there, make a difference, score a goal. Hometown boy. Birkalla grew up playing here. Does the job. Now that he'll see it out, as you said, could be a reasonable amount of injury time. And Beograd go to the bench again.
They do, they make. Konstantopoulos makes way for Tsialafos. Just fresh legs in the dying minutes here. Birkalla conceded late last week through a Mullen penalty to Campbelltown, but had Blackwood there to score in the 94th minute this week. They concede relatively late to a Falco spectacular effort.
Could be on again here.
And here's Zoe Sakani. Plays it through, but Falco's there, holds him up. Woodlands comes out and claims.
Just expect a little bit better from him in that moment. You know, you're literally in the last minute of regulation time. You got Welsh to one side of you. Could have put the game to bed then.
They could have, certainly, and
nice turn.
Here is Classen Thomas, can't find Conway behind none. This week, Birkalla scored late thanks to a goal from super sub Tyrese Conway. Not Blackwood this week, who Blackwood obviously out through illness.
Matsumoto, well done.
Matsumoto dealing with the issues there beautifully, and then eventually clears it and off Hussein for a throw in. And Birkalla will certainly try and slow the clock down as we tick into time added. And chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. As Classen Thomas wins that throw in. Harrington not happy. And Ben, I'm going to put you under a little bit of pressure here. Who's your 3-2-1 for this evening?
Ooh, wow.
It's all right, you can have a moment to think about it until Tom blows his whistle as they go along.
Can't look past Jared Clark, really, for me. He's been solid.
He's been fantastic at the back for
Matsumoto's
Birkalla.
had a good performance.
As Welsh clears, but it's only into an FK Beograd player.
Your man Baselli's been good for Beograd.
And that's a handball in a dangerous position from Matsumoto. And this is probably one of, I wouldn't think there'd be too many opportunities after this as we do tick over 92 minutes. Like I said, we reckon there will be a few minutes of time added with the injuries and obviously the 2 goals, as Baselli will stand over this one and deliver.
Been a lot of good, solid contributors tonight, though. It's been a good game. I mean, probably could have had some more exciting moments at times, but it's been a bit of a, low-risk affair.
It has been, as players lining themselves up, and Baselli swings this one in. Goes near post, cut out by Anajanto, and this allows a Conway to get on the end of it, but he can't get under control quick enough, and Baselli wins it back.
Nice pass.
He looks for Falco, but again, that man Clark cuts it out.
Ooh.
And Falco wins
late
the free
in the game,
kick.
But not in the book. Escaped.
And he plays wide to Baselli, but he's overhit it there, as Hussein, and that's gone out.
It was a good position to have a free kick. I know you don't know how much time's left, but probably, on reflection, just slow it down. Yep. Put it in the mixer.
Caused chaos in that box, and it didn't allow FK Beograd to do that, as Matsumoto's taking his time with this throw. Goes long looking for Sakani. He can't bring that under control, and it's a throw into FK Beograd as we tick over. 93.5 minutes played. Can't be too much longer left. We'll keep an eye out and see how long it is before Tom Brinkworth looks at his watch.
That's where you want to get it forward. This is the time to go long if you can.
There's none. He will go long into the box, but cut out by Sakani, and Classen Thomas gets that under control.
Looking to take it to the corner.
He plays Christophilos, sub for Birkalla out on the far side. He's able just to turn the afterburners on. He crosses it, cleared by Toriani. Anajanto picks that up. Here's Sakonis into the box. Looks to cross, but again cut out by FK Beograd. Toriani will look to go long, and he does. Tries to get the ball as far forward as he can, and Falco now playing as a right winger at the moment. Goes back to Toriani. Toriani will get under control, and he'll need to look to go long. As we tick over 94.5 minutes played. Toriani looks for Kosic. He gets the touch. Conway back to Matsumoto and cleared. Here's Santafanti. It's going to... Falco flicks that on. Hussein can't get there. Here's Kosic.
Nicely.
Hits it. Takes a deflection, and Harpers gets his hands on that and saves it from going out for a corner.
Important stop from going out for a corner, that's for sure.
Certainly was. As Harpers goes long in, Brinkworth brings this game to an end. Round 4 of the NPLSA between Birkalla and FK Beograd finish. Birkalla 2, FK Beograd 1. Ben, thoughts?
Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, Birkalla certainly took their chances, and, disappointing for Beograd, I feel, at the end. Maybe, again, I sit on the fence quite a lot, which is not always comfortable, depending on what fence it is, but I felt probably overall maybe a draw would have been probably a fair result, but at the end of the day, you get those moments. It was a great save by Woodlands, and then Tyrese Conway follows up with the rebound and puts it away nicely, and that's the job he had to do when he came on, and he did it. What's your thoughts, more importantly?
Look, it could have gone either way in the end as we look at the stats here. Shots on goal, 13-11, with 4 shots apiece on target by both teams. So very even in terms of shots on goal and shots on target. 16 fouls to 10 corners. Birkalla 3 to FK Beograd's 10 corners. Yeah. Unable to make anything count there. So overall, a pretty even game in the end. Birkalla super sub Tyrese Conway coming on to score that late winner and break FK Beograd's hearts. But do you have a 3-2-1 for me?
3-2-1.
I thought Jared Clark was excellent tonight.
Clark was outstanding. Look, it's hard to not look at Beograd as well. I thought Centre Fanti was good.
He was good in the midfield, Jeff.
Yeah, Nunn was solid too, in fairness.
Yep.
There's a number of good quality contributors throughout the game. Baselli had moments. A number of players had moments. Just got that ability to do it more consistently, to have that full impact that you want to see at this level. But some positive signs from both teams. And Birkalla go away on a Friday night and enjoy sitting on top of the table for at least 24 hours.
At least till Playford play tomorrow. Tune in to the FSA League's YouTube channel if you are unable to get to those grounds and watch any of those games tomorrow. Ben, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
This is Mark Talbot. Thank you for joining us tonight here at Jack Smith Park. And like I said, if you need any more football, check us out tomorrow and then Wednesday night on one game at a time. Good evening.